What's up, Kabroda crew? Welcome back. Thanks for joining our live stream again today. Hopefully y'all are doing well again today here on Thursday. Back in the action. Ready to jump back in and check out the charts. Hopefully y'all could hear me. Yeah, hopefully y'all could hear me there. We're back though. Yeah, back here on Thursday, back from a little drop yesterday on Wednesday, so hopefully y'all were able to jump into that system called short trade yesterday, and we ended up taking it down for a nice we took target 2, but you could have took target 3 with how it fell, so it's pretty nice little trade there. We'll go back and look at it here in a second. We want to say good morning to everybody. So good morning Kathleen, good morning Terry, thanks for joining. Hopefully y'all are doing well and are, you know, back on the live stream ready to go. Excited here again for just to check out the market, jump back into what's going on today. A little bit tired today, so might say some weird stuff, but we're jumping in on it, seeing what's going on. All right, so looking at our trade here yesterday, just kind of what's going on. Yeah, I have my my mic down, which is funny because I checked it this morning, but I guess I must have hit it or something and turned down the sound. It's just down here on the bottom, so pretty easy to, you just kind of like spin it one way or the other, so it's pretty easy to accidentally hit. All right, yeah, so looking at yesterday's trade, this is kind of the setup yesterday. Yeah, and so we had our kind of played out in the morning, and then we were talking about the trade right around this area here on the live stream. It actually dropped pretty low here coming into the morning. That 8:30 candle that we always talk about, that was a pretty good spike down. Kind of had me wondering, you know, if we were even going to be able to get in. We just threw our entry like up here, so that was kind of it was like right about there where we said, okay, well, this is where we're going to get in. We just threw our entry there and just left it. Basically after that, it was just almost a perfect trade. You know, you came up, hit you in, and then it kind of fell down, came down, hit your target 1, and then bounced back up almost back to the entry level, which is pretty normal actually after target 1. So you could just pull your stop down, and then, you know, you came up a little bit, and then, you know, fell right back off and it came down, almost hit target 2. It took a little while to hit target 2, but when it finally did, hit target 2 and then actually snapped down and hit target 3. So if you had held it to target 3, you definitely would have been a happy camper. You know how we say it's 30% here at target 1, and then 70% at either 2 or 3, depending on how you're taking it. You could split the 70 between 2 and 3, I guess, too. So however you want to do it. But that's the grade A trade that you would take. So if you take your percentage at 1, and then you take percentage at 2 and 3. And when you do take that percentage at 1, you move your stop down, so that way you have that profit secured. We've talked about it before, but, you know, when you do come down and you move your stop down, you do want to move it. It is better to move it more closer to break even, because like yesterday, say you got out here on, I don't actually think I actually got out on this target 1 when it kind of spiked into it. I think it was just too fast for even my limit order to fill, so I never actually got out there. But when I did get out, and I moved my target down, but obviously if you had gotten out here though, the issue was, you know, if you moved your stop exactly to break even, you would have made 30%, and then it would have come back up and hit you out. So that's why we say, you know, it's better most of the time. You know, sometimes it's like it doesn't really matter, it'll just keep going no matter what. But a lot of times it's better to move your stop kind of just within wherever your break even actually is. So like say if you made 30%, then your
your break even wouldn't be right here at your, well, technically your break even's kind of down here, but it wouldn't be here anymore. It's going to actually be up into your stop zone a little bit, like up above your entry, just because, you know, you've made money on this trade now. So if you were to lose money, if you wanted to break even, you'd have to just basically, you could lose all the money that you just made and you'd still be breaking even. Yeah, so that's what we found, is it's just better to kind of move it down where you're in, you know, you're not going to lose money, but you're not really going to make any money. And that's where, you know, that break even level is. Not necessarily like right where you got in, right where you entered. Like I said, you could do that, but it's just, I don't know. It's just common that it'll come back up from target one to the entry, kind of price, retest the level, and then break down. So yeah, you know, good trade though overall. So if you took it, congrats. Glad to see it. Nice to see a little bit of a move down, you know, in the trade. Always, yeah, nice to see. Honestly, it's been a little while. So yeah, this is probably going to see a little bit more of these with our new system kind of coming in, with the new levels and things like that. And then as we continue to update it and bring in the rest of the AIs that we've been talking about, it should just keep improving and getting better and better. Speaking of which, let's go ahead and set up for today. You know, just looking at it earlier, it's not looking too great for trade, so we'll get the levels on there, we'll check it out, but it's not anything to be really excited about in terms of, you know, like what's going on with the different levels and things like that. So yeah, let's head on over to Kabroda.com. Like I said, this site is off right now, so you're not able to access it, but we'll let you know whenever we figure out how it's going to work. But for right now, you guys can just join the live stream, check it out. For today, BTC is in a bearish move still. So you can see Ethereum is, BTC is, and Solana is. But the BTC up here, it says that we're in a risk-off bias dominant. Basically, kind of getting a little exhausted. And because BTC is kind of exhausted and it's saying, oh, well, you shouldn't trade it because of that. It's saying, you know, watch out on your Solana and ETH trades as well, because they tend to follow BTC pretty closely to a T. So you don't want to be taking Ethereum if you don't think BTC is going to run down. It's essentially what it is. And, you know, it does run sometimes without BTC. So we're not like, I'm not going to say it doesn't, but you're in a better probability to take a trade on Ethereum if BTC is going to line up with that trade, because it's just how it works. So if you're trading, you know, against what BTC says, more often than not, you're going to lose, even though, you know, sometimes, like I said, it does run up, and so you might win sometimes, but most of the time you're going to be losing just because BTC is not going to run, even if Ethereum thinks it's going to run, or Solana, or really any altcoin. And that could change at some point. That's just kind of how it works, you know, with crypto as of right now. But yeah, we'll let you know if that changes. For right now, though, that's the case there. So today, though, BTC doesn't really have anything. That's why it's kind of grayed out. We can kind of open the cockpit here, and we'll close this right now. You can see we are in a stand down. It is a higher probability of short, just like we saw yesterday. You know, we are in that kind of, we were kind of in the like small bull pullback for the bear run, and then now we kind of flipped that, and we're starting to see that last move of the bear run down in the longer term. So you're kind of getting into more of, you know, shorts. Shorts are going to be the main thing for a little while. We're looking to go down to I believe it was like 50,000. I can kind of show y'all. We'll use a bigger time frame here. So if you've watched our chart analysis or anything like that lately, we kind of talked about different runs here. So you kind of have here, let me draw it on here. Might not drop perfectly the first time. We'll see. Yeah, there we go. All right, so it'll be something like that. So this is called the Elliott wave. Essentially, you kind of run the waves are kind of like you have the first wave down, and then you have a second wave up, and then a third wave down, and then a fourth wave up, and then fifth wave is down. So that's basically the idea. Obviously, it's more of just a longer term kind of trend watcher. You know, it's not really something that you're gonna be able to trade off of. Maybe you could, I don't know. For how we use it, it's more of just kind of an indicator for the longer term trend. But you can see we've been in this downtrend for a little while now. We're actually almost on the fifth wave. Typically, you see about 5 waves within trend before you'll see that flip to the other side. And then the main thing that we look at whenever we see this is the first kind of down run is actually going to be your target for the fifth wave. So if we took that and ran it down, we'd run about 55,000 or so, just from where we're at right now. So, you know, we could drop down. That would be right in this nice little golden pocket here. It'd be a pretty nice little setup there, if we were to run down like that. So not anything like crazy, but definitely a big number. You know, 50,000. That's, I don't know. I mean, a lot of people don't think we're going to drop below 60 ever. So seeing that number, you know, kind of come up is kind of crazy there. But it's definitely what the chart is kind of showing. Now, like I said, it could not ever drop there. That could be, you know, a pretty far out target. That's just kind of, you know, based off of the Elliott wave here. That is the target that we're looking at. So we're looking for price to at least, you know, continue down. We might not get down here, like I said. We might come down in here, but we will show signs of turning. So essentially, until we show those signs of kind of flipping and turning, we are in the downtrend down to, 55,000 or so, around that level. We'll just throw it out there as 55. You know, just big number, not quite at the end of the target, but close enough. So 55,000, pretty, you know, big turn number. That's what we're looking at for the down run. Like I said, it could turn before. That's just where the target is. So we'll see what happens as we kind of, you know, let it play out and look at it the next couple of weeks. Obviously, all that really means for us right now is just that we are, in fact, in the longer term downtrend. So we'll just have to continue watching until we see the flip there on, you know, going long and everything. So we'll see what happens here, though. So that is the case there for the time frame there. And that's why we're looking at shorts. We'll kind of pop this open here and check out our brief. So this is a new thing we're kind of adding to the site, checking it out. It's basically just the AI kind of explaining more of the thought behind a lot of the stuff it's calling. So you can kind of read through it, but basically, you know, we're in that wave 4 bounce, or we were in that wave 4 bounce with that 81.5% complete. And then now we pulled back to that 76,744 region and opened today's New York session at 73,000. Sitting one candle above the 73,277 level is that breakdown trigger. Yesterday's session from structural decay, 6 consecutive close bearish low jewel gates. Hidden bearish divergence on the 15 and 4 hour momentum, printing negative as RSI is at 27.11. When bear 4 exhausts in the weekly close, print below that 60,055, Verify triggers towards the 42 to 45,000 structural target. The 80,632 invalidation ceiling is not threatened today, so price is below it by 10% and trending away from it. Elliott wave parameters pending weekly verification. Wave context is approximate. So essentially it's saying we're looking like we're flipping from 4 to 5, kind of like I was saying. It hasn't confirmed yet though, so it's waiting on that flip to kind of confirm. And I guess it's waiting on the weekly verification. So once it kind of gets that verification, then it'll be looking for a down run. It is calling pretty far targets, even farther than I was saying. So I was saying at 55,000, it's calling for 42 to 45,000. So it would be crazy if BTC went down there. I guess it's not out of the cards, so we'll see where it goes. But yeah, essentially the whole point is that it can go down. We're scalpers, right? Like that's what we're trying to do. We're 50-minute scalpers. So if we're really just looking at longer term trend to kind of get an idea of like what's going on with the longer term trend. We're not looking at it as, you know, well, okay, how can we trade short? It's more like, you know, what's going to give us the higher probability trades right now because of the longer term, and that would be shorts for right now. So and you know, if you're on the site, it'll kind of help you update it, or if you join the lives and stuff, you can stay up to date with kind of what we're seeing, or you can, I guess, just learn how to read the chart yourself. But either way, that's kind of what we're looking at the longer term for. We're not looking at it as like, oh, you know, because, you know, we just flipped to I don't know, because we're going to 40,000 on the longer term, I'm going to go take a 15-minute short right now with a nice tight stop and go to 40,000. Like that's not going to help you out. That's not the point of this. It's just, you know, to kind of see the longer term time frame, and then you kind of take that information and use it just kind of as an indicator. It's just one of the things on your checklist that, you know, help you get to the point of seeing where the trade's kind of going. It's not really like a trigger to take a trade. It's not like anything like that. It's just kind of, you know, some extra little oomph on your trade, especially because, you know, we're scalping. So that's definitely something to be careful of. Yeah, there's a couple different things in here. Essentially, main things, we are in a high probability short. Not really looking at a long. Longs are lower probability right now. So this is it kind of throws the trade that it would have looked at today. But basically it's standing down, and it says why here really. Price prints the confirmed 1 hour close above the 74,501. The maximum gravity wall captured invalidates immediate short thesis and signals a bounce is beginning to tape, or price gets above blah blah blah. Essentially though, whatever happened, it says stand down, so it has some different things that it looks at. It's actually telling you, I guess, right here the session box is too wide at 2.0.80. So we'll actually go through the levels on our chart so you can kind of see what it's talking about there. So grab them here, head back to our chart, and pop it open, and we are on Thursday today. So we'll go ahead and change the levels there. And there you go. That's what we're looking at for today. So already got a little bit of a breakdown, it looks like. But you can see we kind of have a pretty wide box here. I'm going to take our yesterday's trade off because that's going to get confusing. There you go. So we have our entry, or our breakout level here, breakdown level here. You got your 30-minute range right there. So technically, you know, short's kind of what's going to play out today. You know, be the basic trade. Obviously, we're not looking to take that. Essentially what the battle box is saying though is that the gap between your breakdown trigger here and your breakout trigger is too wide. 2.80 is what it does. Obviously its measurements a little more exact than mine, and kind of just threw it on there. But that is why it's saying, yeah, don't take it. Essentially, you know, with how we've kind of looked at it in the past, that gap is too wide. But yeah, I mean, I guess if you're just looking to take it, you know, it's short is play. It kind of broke down below. We still need to get a close below after the 845 candle, 830 to 845 candle. So that's what you'd be waiting on, I guess. And then you'd have your stop, you know, just above here. There is no system trade though today, so it's not calling it. But if you were to, you know, just jump into something, that would be the trade. Obviously, like I said, you need that close below the breakdown trigger after the 845 candle. So we'll see how this thing closes, you know, in 8 minutes or so. But essentially, that would be the trade. And if we were looking at the targets, wow, pretty close to target 1. So that would be target 1 there at 71,987, or you could go to target 2, 71,245. And actually, let's see what the trade on BTC was. So we had our here. Well, actually, we'll put it on here. So it's saying we want to enter at 73 to, yeah, pretty close. We want to have our stop at 75. So our stop would be at 75 to 77, according to, wow, okay. Interesting. There must not be any kind of like gravity walls or anything within here, so it's saying that once you stop all the way up there, and then 71, 176. Wow, okay, and then target 1 is all the way down at target 2, essentially. Yeah, not too great. If you're looking at it from the battle boxes, little trade there. Technically, you know, like I said, it didn't actually call it. That's just the trade that it would have looked into had it been viable, but it's not. So, yeah. Like I said, though, if I was just looking at this, that would be what I'd be looking at, I guess. But, you know, be mindful, it's just low probability, you know. The battle box is not calling this trade, so it's just you know, checking it out, looking, seeing what's going on. Maybe something to paper trade, I guess. But again, yeah, not too exciting. And yeah, just a reminder, we are just here for educational purposes only. We're not here to give any kind of financial advice or anything like that. So yeah, just to remind y'all. Yeah, that's kind of what we're looking at for today, though. So probably another down run, or the battle box is calling sideways, I guess, or just not a great down run. Like I said, though, if it is going to break out to one side, more than likely we're going to continue down. We're going to see a little bit of a run down here. Maybe just continuation of what's already kind of happened. We'll see, though. We'll leave this trade on, gonna see what happens. But like I said, no system trade today, so nothing too promising there. Yeah, that's kind of the trade, though. That's kind of what we're looking at. Yeah, you all have to let me know in the comments, though, if you all jumped into the trade yesterday. Like I said, it was pretty nice little trade there. So, and it's been a while since we had a win, honestly. So, I think what happened was maybe some of the battle box, but we're switching it up now. So it's getting better. You know, just keep improving. So, eventually we'll have a pretty nice little battle box here. I think, yeah. So just continue sticking around, and you'll just continue to see it grow and get better. And then, like I said, we will let you know whenever we do figure out kind of like how exactly are we gonna you know, get the data out there every day for everybody. I'm thinking, oh nice, Terry paper traded it. Yeah, it's a pretty nice little trade. Nice, even as paper trade. Nice to get a win on a paper trade. Took a little while to go down there though. I mean, we got in like right here somewhere. So it took about 44 bars, so I don't even know. I guess it probably said on there. Wow, took 10 hours for that trade to play out. Yeah, it's one of those you just kind of put on and you walk away. How's the end? Yeah, 10 hours, almost exactly. So, yeah, a long trade for sure, but definitely a good trade. Like I was saying though, yeah, we'll let you know though when we figure out how we're gonna get that information out there. We gotta finish the rest of the stuff that we are putting into the site, and then we'll figure that out, kind of look at it, look through how we want to do it. Like I said, the main thing we've been kind of looking at, long trade to target 2. Yeah, it was a pretty long trade. If you took it to target 1, I guess it wasn't very long. It was like, I mean, by the time you got in to when you got out, it was only like 2 hours, so it's not as long. Yeah, though we'll let you know whenever we figure it out, like I said. So we'll talk about it. And yeah, the idea that we've been throwing around is the kind of, you know, having like a subscription based email where you'll get the email kind of with the we'll make it look nice, like with some graphics and stuff like that, but essentially you'll get an email with kind of the just the levels and everything for the day, and you'll kind of just have, you know, all of your stuff in there, and then it'll tell you, you know, what's the market looking like today, what's the higher probability trade, like what's all of that kind of thing. Yeah, and that'll kind of just be what comes out. Probably have like a little breakdown of what's going on. That's what we're throwing around. Like I said, that's all subject to change. We don't know what's really what we're really going to decide on yet, but we'll find out. We will find out. Yeah, looking like we're gonna get it close here under the breakdown levels, so could be the breakdown trade here, kind of coming down. I don't know if there's any levels right below us or not. So let's take a look. So this is our gravity map. We don't have any levels below us. Crazy. Oh wait, have a pretty big level here at 60,000. That's crazy. Yeah, and that is a level to go for. Alright, well, we'll have to see how that goes, man. We might actually be coming down to that level. I mean, that's before what we called, I guess, but that's pretty crazy. We might be running down to that. Yeah, we'll see what happens here though. Definitely a lot of levels above us too, so you know, come down, go up, we'll see. Definitely, like I said though, it is in a bias of short, so I just thought maybe, you know, maybe some levels on here we could look for today, you know, kind of with our little fun paper trade, see if there's anything we could kind of, you know, base our targets and stops off of, but there's really nothing. Yeah, nothing interesting, at least. Nothing like, there's just nothing below us. Sure, depending on what you use, there's some stuff below us, but you know, with our
more macro trend looking gravity map thing. It's nothing below us, so no big levels right below us where we can target. So I guess you're just running your targets off the fibs based off the lines. Like I said, though, this is, you know, not a high probability, just more for fun. Yeah, that's kind of the little usurp for today. That's what we got going on. That's what we're watching for. And yeah, we'll see how this little fun trade plays out. I'm not taking this or anything. just to kind of check out, see what's going on. You know, make it a little more fun to kind of sit here and watch candles, I guess. But yeah, a nice trade yesterday. Like I said, I believe yesterday I was talking about, you know, with the different YouTuber that I was kind of referencing yesterday. Saw like one of her videos. I think her name's Peachy Investor, but I'm not 100% on that. But essentially, she was talking about, like, you know, when you're scalping, you don't have to trade every day. And that's where you lose money, is when you're trying to trade every day. So definitely true for us. You know, we got our trade yesterday, so, you know, maybe you don't trade today, but that's not necessarily a bad thing. Sometimes sitting on your hands is the best strategy, you know, sitting and waiting. So yeah, thanks for joining. You know, just stick with it. We will get some better trades here soon. But yeah, thanks for coming in. No video coming out today, but we will be live next Tuesday. Maybe we'll get a video like Saturday or something. We'll see. Yeah. But yeah, thanks for joining. We'll catch y'all next Tuesday, 8:30 a.m. CST. So if y'all are able to, we'd love to see you there. Love to hang out. Love for guys to throw some stuff in the comments, maybe ask about some coins or anything like that. We'd be happy to check them out, or happy to explain any kind of TA topics or anything like that you'd love to, or you want to hear about, want to know more about. I mean, you know, don't know every single thing about TA, but most basic things we'd be able to answer, or you know, even if we couldn't answer it, maybe we could help you out. Maybe we could help you, you know, kind of explain it. You know, more experience. Yeah, when you have more experience, you know, even some of the indicators, you might not know exactly what they are, but you can still kind of explain them just by, you know, looking at them and just having that, you know, knowledge of the chart on the back end, or knowledge of how other indicators and stuff like that works. So yeah, like I said, though, yeah, join us next Tuesday. We'll be back on. If you haven't already, make sure you hit that like button. It helps us get the video out to more people, and helps us, you know, share our knowledge with more people, so we can help more people out. Also, if you like our content, you know, subscribe, hit the bell notification if you want to make sure you catch us next Tuesday. But other than that, yeah, we'll be live next Tuesday, 8:30 a.m. CST. Happy trading to y'all, and we'll catch you after the weekend.